It's a make or miss league.
Maybe a little more funny than that.
I don't know what am I make or missing? It's a make or miss league. Cut that.
Always knows how to make an entrance. Hello, Jimmy Butler. Make aggression. Lakers demolishing the Warriors, throwing down some dunks in the process.
Yeah.
So, Pip, I want you to rate JaVale or Kuz. Who's better?
Ooh.
Tough, right? You can see him again. We'll loop him again.
Yeah, loop him again. I got to see that Kuz one again.
All right, Kuz.
No, I think JaVale, because they were waiting for him, right? Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I got to go with Kuz.
Yeah?
I got to go with Kuz.
All right. The hair's put over the top. You get extra style points for the hair. Or maybe taken away, I don't know.
Kuz kind of did it on his own.
That's true.
Like that.
Men's basketball, Pacers and Blazers, both just struggling a little bit lately. Last night was tough. For example, in this stretch, 5 turnovers in the span of 40 seconds.
How long did it take them to score in this game?
I don't know. I was going to say it was a case of the Mondays, but it was like a case of the Thursdays. But then they turned the ball over again.
There was a point where John Hollinger said these teams haven't scored since Tuesday.
Wow.
And then again. It's been some nights you just don't have it, right, Scotty? These like late February games.
5 turnovers, though, I've been doing a lot of subs.
Right? And there we go. Yeah, there's another one. But look at that extra effort to keep it in balance,
they're playing hard. That's what counts.
Make surprises, Kings Thunder. Oklahoma City coming back from down 19 to win this one, thanks in small part to 2 Danilo Gallinari alley-oops. Did you know that he had this in him, Amin?
The hops? Yeah, like 8 years ago. I didn't know he still had it in him. Also, shout out to Billy Donovan, man. He took a lot of lumps over the years about play calling and all that. Turns out he's a pretty good coach. Imagine that. They actually run the play. It's not so bad.
Oh, man, wow.
Insane.
I'm crediting Chris Paul.
He's pretty good, too.
Shai Gilgeous-Alexander.
He's really good.
And the other guys they have, they're really pulling it at a time where half their team, it felt like, got traded away, and they could sit there and say, okay, we're still going to make a run at it.
CP3 is contagious.
Absolutely. It's a great way to phrase it, Scotty. I love that. Miss Composure back to San Francisco. So Draymond, all right, let's say he flopped just a little bit. He tripped Dwight Howard just a little bit, got called for the foul, then proceeded to berate the ref. He does get tossed here. Do you think maybe he's just like, look, I mean, just, you know, he's not going to be in the playoffs this year anyway. He's just getting a little started early.
Oh, man. Y'all are not.
LeBron's not playing.
You guys are.
Hey, that man missing KD in the Splash Brothers.
Right?
Trust me.
Right?
I'm telling you guys right now.
Frustration right
all part of the plan. I got you guys to go to. Oh, Draymond, be angry about this call 9 minutes in.
You know that is not happening.
Okay.
That is not
light
happening.
years is what they call it. Light years ahead is what they say.
You know that. I can give it to you on some of the other stuff. That is not happening. Nobody needs to wind Draymond Green up. Thank you very much. So, yeah. But that man has earned his paycheck this year too. To Scotty's point, he's been putting in that work for himself.
He's a coach.
In some cases.
He needs an extra check for being a coach.
Welcome back to The Jump. We're entering the home stretch of the regular season, so I do want to talk a little seeding today. The undermanned Sixers did win over the Knicks, and that put them in a virtual tie with the Heat for the 4 seed in the East. However, we're going to put the standings up here in a minute. Philly is also only a game and a half up on Indianapolis, who right now is in the 6th spot. So as you see up here, it is really tight, right, between 4, 5, and 6. So, I mean, we all know the best case scenario for Philly is to get the 4 seed.
Yes.
They have a spectacular home record, one of the best in the league. They have an atrocious road record, one of the worst in the league. So if you can put yourself that even in the first round you don't have to win a game on the road, you want to do that. So they want the 4 seed. But if they slip down to the 5, do they actually want the number 6?
See, I'm of the school of thought that, in general, you anger the basketball gods when you try to be cute. Just in saying, I want to be this seed because that's better than being
we saw Denver do that a little bit last year.
Yeah, and what happened to them? See, you anger the basketball gods. But specifically when it comes to the Sixers, they really don't have a leg to stand on to start trying to gaming the standings. They're so bad on the road, they have to go all in on getting a home court advantage because, as you said, that's going to help you win a series because you're so bad on the road. And here's the reality. You could say we're trying to avoid the Bucks in the 2nd round. That's what this is, right?
So do the bracket here, right? Yeah. So if they end up in the 5, they have to play on the road in the 1st round, right? So they win at least one road game just to get out of there. And then if they win, they would have to likely, no offense to the Magic, face the Bucks in the second round.
But we're acting like if they're the 6, oh, the Celtics, oh, that's a snooze fest. We'll get through them. So that's my point.
Better luck again. I'm not saying
you want to win a series, you might as well play a team. Yeah,
you might as well play the best.
Yeah.
To me, if your team is playing good, your guys are healthy, you want to play the best team.
Okay.
And I think going into playoff, you want to be healthy and you want to be playing some of your best basketball. And you want the challenge of playing against a team that's probably beat you 2-3 times in the regular season because they still got to do it again for 3 more times.
Oh, all right, well, that's a good
and
point.
by the way, what if Toronto falls to 3? It's not like they have a great success against Toronto either.
True, yeah.
So my thing is like this idea that if we fall to 6, then we won't see the Bucks in the conference finals. You're not going to see a conference finals. There's a strong chance you're going to go home in the first round. So you can't mess around with that. Your best bet is to be as good as possible and then play whoever I got to play.
Well, look, they have a lot of obstacles to all of that because you've got Ben Simmons out for an indeterminate period of time. They said they're just going to start checking back up on him in 2 weeks to get a back issue that can be serious. You got Joel Embiid out. They said in a week they're going to reevaluate him. So it's going to be at least a few games.
They got a tough week. Lakers and Clippers.
If that's the situation, they're going to fall in.
Up to them.
We're going to take a very quick break, but coming up afterward, I mean, did you know that Oklahoma City has the second best record in the league, not just in the last few weeks?
We ought to be proud.
There you go.
Give it a 2. Get out of here, man.
You're not impressed?
The dog drops the ball.
That's the team,
He didn't
baby.
drop the ball. He dropped the ball. Yeah, I mean,
Come on,
he did
it's talking about attempts? Come on, you got to dock points.
Taco
That's
Fall
over?
almost got dropped, too.
Oh, welcome to the job. I'm
saying.
Rachel Nichols. Today I'm joined by our front office insider, Amin Al-Hassan, 6-time NBA champion, Hall of Famer, Scottie Pippen. Always such a treat when he is here. Coming up, since Pip is back with us, we will revisit the All-Star Dunk Contest in Chicago. The producers are on it. The Jump Investigative Unit is on the case. We will dig deep. First, though, so what's hotter than being hot?
Ice hot.
No, that's not how the line goes. Anyway, it is what the Rockets are. They have won 5 straight, and their new approach that some down in Houston are calling micro ball is letting James Harden and Russell Westbrook be their best selves. I sat down with James to check in on how he feels about playing this way, why his style of play is the subject of so much criticism, what he thinks of the Rockets' title chances, and where he feels he ranks among the NBA's best players. There's a lot in here. Take a look.
They've gone small ball. You're starting the shortest lineup in over 50 years. But one thing you better have is a whole lot of Harden.
To 3, James Harden, a flamethrower.
He's a machine, he just scores.
He's unguardable.
You guys made a pretty significant change to your team at the trade deadline. The first game that you guys played was against the Lakers. And the opening tip-off was you against JaVale. And the video and photos from that, just that one moment,
Pretty funny, right?
are pretty amazing. What did you think as you were going
That
up
was my
to do that?
first jump ball in the NBA in 11 years. But no, I think it's more spacing, it's more opportunities for our guards to drive and be able to attack the rim, and then we get shooters. So it's pretty cool.
You guys have had fits and starts this season. You've been open about the fact that you've had tough conversations in your locker room between the players about chemistry. What can you share from that you think has helped you guys?
Tough conversations are needed, especially if you want to get to the top. I think every team that's won had tough conversations, whether you're BSing around and you're not reaching your full potential yet. And that's what we are. Like, we haven't hit our stride yet either. You see all of these other teams are going on winning streaks and things like that. So we're ready to go, and I'm thrilled about what we have in the locker room.
How confident are you that the path you're on now can lead to a title this year?
I'm very, very confident.
You do?
Extremely confident.
You think you're going to win it all?
Yeah. As long as we stay healthy, obviously, and defensively be on the string, I think, which we've almost gotten rid of, we're going to be a tough challenge.
Harden from the corner hits a 3.
Our game is a collection of the NBA's best players.
Yeah.
Where do you think you rank among the NBA's best players right now?
I feel like I'm the best player. Yeah, throughout the course of the year, I don't see double teams from anybody else. Usually you see a double team after you have a 50.9 or 60.9. If I have a 18.9, the next game I'm seeing a double team, which is pretty cool. The NBA has never seen it before at half court. So I'm just trying to figure ways to, obviously, be great in that.
It's interesting to me because the NBA's own website has an MVP ladder, their rankings for MVP. They list the top 5 players. You're not even in there, James.
I know, that's crazy.
What do you think of that?
And I still lead the league in scoring.
3rd straight year you've led the league in scoring.
Yeah.
What do you think of that?
That's something I can't control.
You do have people talking about some of the stereotypes that have blown up around you. Charles Barkley, when they had the All-Star draft.
I'm between Kemba and Trae Young.
Wait, you don't want the dribbler?
Don't pass the ball, that's what I want.
Kupo makes a joke on the air about, I want to take someone who can pass. I'm taking Kemba Walker instead of James Harden.
I average more assists than him, I think. But I don't see what the joke is. But I didn't even see it. And I don't pay attention to stuff like that. I just know none of them can mess with me. You know, when it's all said and done, you know, they'll appreciate it more. You know, but I wish I could just run and with 7 feet and run and just dunk. Like that takes no skill at all. I gotta actually learn how to play basketball, how to have skill, you know? I take that any day.
Do you think that in the end, a title is going to give you the respect that you think you deserve?
I mean, it is, and I will get it.
You feel confident about that?
Yes. Very.
Thanks so much to James for sitting down with me. So, Scottie, I want to get to something he said in that conversation, calling himself the best player in the league. Do you agree with that statement?
I believe he's the best scorer in the league. Best
Which is
player.
not nothing, by the way.
What's that?
Which best scorer in the league is not nothing, by the way.
It's definitely not nothing because it ends up you're at home early in the playoff. But when you talk about the best players in the game, you're talking about guys that can make their team rise to the occasion. You talk about the LeBron James. You talk about Giannis. You talk about Kawhi and what he's been able to do with the Clippers. Those are great players in our game because they are always going to be in the postseasons, and you're going to know about their team throughout the regular season. The Houston Rockets have been up and down all season. James Harden's leadership has been questioned over the last 2-3 years, and they've just underachieved to me. And even though he's the best scorer in the game, that don't equal championships. I mean, you can be the best scorer for 82 games, but you're going to be home come postseason.
Yeah, I don't agree with him calling himself the best player of the game, but I have no problem with him doing that. I think there's a certain echelon when you reach that level, you kind of almost have to believe that in order for it to be true. So I think LeBron, Kawhi, Steph Curry, Giannis, KD, and Harden. Those are guys that they can say it and legitimately believe it because they're MVP caliber. They've been kind of elite players throughout the last 3 or 4 years. Anyone else is kind of, I think, a stretch because they've proven they can take teams, win consistently, be competitive in the playoffs. But like Scottie said, if we're going to actually say who's the best player in the game, I don't think I could take Harden when he has that kind of track record in the playoffs of falling short.
Well, I think what happens in the NBA is we give you a few chances to prove it in the playoffs, right? So Giannis's team doesn't get out, right? Doesn't get to the finals last year. Doesn't get out of the round that they, everyone thought, oh man, they're gonna get to the finals. Don't get out of these conference finals, and we're giving him another year, right?
Yeah.
Because it was the first time getting them that far. It's not fair to just judge him on that 1 year. So we're going to give him another year to see how that goes. If they also don't get to the finals this year, I think people will start saying, hey, what's going on? That sort of thing.
Right.
That's why there's more pressure on them to get there this year, right? With James Harden, I feel like at the beginning, it was, hey, look, hamstring away, right? They could have made it. They could have done this, whatever. But after repetition, there is now, hey, we got to see it. We got to make you believe it. And so I like the tweaks they made because what they had wasn't working. You called it out last season, Scottie, that it wasn't going to work. It certainly wasn't working in the first half of this season. So I give them credit for changing it up and trying something different. We don't know if it's going to work, but I do agree some of James's reputation will rest on whether it does work or not. And that's just how it works in this league. It works in the NBA. We'll give you a few chances, and then you got to get it done. You got to at least get to the NBA Finals. So there you go. All right, in that conversation, Harden also said, quote, I wish I could just run and be 7 feet and just dunk.
Oh, boy.
That takes no skill at all. I have to actually learn how to play basketball and have skill. Now, he did not name Giannis in that quote. I had just asked him a little bit about the comments Giannis made during the All-Star draft, about the comments Charles Barkley made, too, during the All-Star draft. And Giannis, by the way, after the All-Star game, made sort of another funny joke. And by the way, in good fun, Giannis, it wasn't like he took some crazy shot at him.
No.
I don't think so. You think so?
I think the one that happened during the draft was just in good fun. Actually, Charles was the one that started it, and Giannis went along with the joke. But what he said after the All-Star game, when he said, we were targeting Harden, I didn't feel like he had to say that. It's an All-Star game. You don't have to get that deep in it, and he probably wouldn't say it in a regular season game. To me, I was like, wait, why is he saying this? And then I remembered when Giannis won MVP, Harden went on the radio talking about, you didn't deserve it, I should have won it.
Okay.
And the Rockets put out all this stuff about, well, actually, if you look at this, that, and the other, Harden had more of an impact. And to me, that was not a gracious way to accept losing that trophy. Mm-hmm. And I think Giannis took that to heart. And so I think there's a grudge there. That Giannis looks like a cuddly, laughing, smiling guy, but is a crazy competitor out of the same cut of cloth of Kobe and Michael Jordan and Kevin Garnett. Mm-hmm. One of these guys who's not here to make friends at all. Mm-hmm. I think he's holding on to that grudge, and that's why he's picking on Harden. So when Harden popped back, I appreciate that because that dude came at him. You got to come back at him. Mm-hmm. But just understand, March 25th on ESPN, it's going to be a bloodbath. Giannis versus Harden right here. Tune in on ESPN and the ESPN app.
Seriously?
Only in America.
Oh, boy. Okay, here we go.
It's setting up for great finals.
Yeah, if it happens. Do you feel like Harden had to pop back given everything that Amin just outlined?
Yeah, I mean, I think there's some pop back. I mean, as Amin said, these guys kind of been battling since, you know, going at each other for the MVP. So, you know, they're going to throw words around. Too bad they're playing in the East and the West that we don't see them battle head-to-head more because they are two of the top players in our game, and we would like to see them go head-to-head more.
Well, I mean, one of the things that Houston GM Daryl Morey always says about James Harden is he's unstoppable. I haven't seen the defense that can really stop him. And Giannis is, in a lot of ways, such a force when he goes down. Now, we've seen walls built for Giannis, but it's an interesting matchup.
It's interesting that he says he's never seen nobody stop Harding, but look at their record. Somebody stopped them. They don't have the best record in the league. They ain't got the best record in the West.
Yep.
Somebody's stopping him.
I just want to point this out real quick. We shouldn't have to dignify this, but Giannis is more than a 7-footer who can just dunk. I remember they used to say the same thing about Shaq, right? And that ignores the footwork. It ignores the IQ. It ignores the immense skill development from rookie year to where he is right now. Giannis is a very skilled, improving player every day, and is way more than just 7-footer athletic who can dunk. But I know sometimes when you talk trash, you just try to...
I was going to say, I'm also sitting, you and I are sitting next to someone who played in an era where that barely even qualifies as talking trash. Some of the things y'all said to each other. So it's all part of the game, and it's going to be a very good game, by the way, again, when James Harden and the Rockets take the floor tomorrow. We will have that for you. Coming up, we're going to talk about the Sixers. They're going through some injury struggles, but is the best seeding scenario for them to actually slide down the standings? We will discuss that. First, though, it's time for our distant replay from this date in 2006 featuring
Vince Carter?
Lamar Odom.
Close enough. Hello, the goods.
The Lakers right now on a 10-2 run. Another takeaway. Lamar.
Oh, no!